Guys, thanks for watching. I want to take this opportunity to pose a proposition for you, especially you guys that are in leadership, ministers, pastors, apostles, bishops, evangelists, prophets. I'm posing this video especially for you. The reason being is because when it comes to ministry and it comes to preparing a message, there is so much work that takes place and has to be done. All of the studying that goes into preparing a word, whether if it's your Sunday school word, your spoken message that you need to preach on Sunday, or a lesson plan for ministry training, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on. And the more speaking that you do, by virtue of from the pulpit down to teaching classes, etc., or workshops, the more information you tend to accumulate. And the point of reference that I'm making to you guys is, what do you do with all of that information? Myself, I have been ministering and speaking for almost as long as I have been alive. And that's 20 years of speaking experience, from the pulpit down to secular, down to entrepreneurship, and various different things that I have done. Now, with all of that speaking, you're constantly gathering information to minister to people, to coach people, to bring forth information in new creative ways and ideas. And the point that I want to make to you guys today is, what are you doing with all of that information? Now, for many of us that speak on a week-to-week basis, sometimes 2 and 3 times per Sunday, and you bishops, overseers, apostles, etc. know exactly what I'm talking about. And to the regular ordinary pastor who may preach or speak at least 3 times within a week, a weekday service, Bible study, and Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, however your flow goes. So with that information and with that being said, you begin to think about, what do I do with all those notes? And the one thing that I began to do as a writer and an author, and people ask me constantly, how in the world did you write so many books? When did you have the time to write so many books? Why do you have so many books out, etc.? How do you write so fast? My answer is very simple. One, I've been doing this for years. So all of the work that I put into my lectures, my sermons, my public speaking, etc., has already provided me with a wealth of information. Any speaker, pastor of any title will be able to tell you, when you're up there ministering and preaching, you're never giving everything that you have studied or everything that you have put in your notes. So what do you do with that information? Sometimes it's vital information that builds you up and helps you to grow. My point of reference is, if it has blessed me and helped me to grow, then undoubtedly I should be able to share that information with somebody else, and they be enriched and they grow from that as well. So my point to every preacher, pastor, and speaker out there, it's time for you not to just be great at speaking before people, but it's also time for you to take what you have, what little you have, or what much of what you have, and produce a product that people can glean from. Sometimes people don't always want to hear your tape. They may not always be apt to watch you on YouTube. People may not always be in a position where they can sit through an entire message, or they may not even attend your church. And that is another great way of putting yourself and your message out there to the world, where people can reach you and receive what you have and receive what you have to say. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to Maximize Publishing. And this is a company that I started because of my work as a writer and because of the need for many people that are out there that need publishing services and so forth. So I'm not a novice by any chance at starting in publishing and publishing books. I have several titles out there and beyond 10. So that's not bragging, but that's the truth. You can Google me, research my name, and you'll see that I have extensive work out there, and I know what I'm doing. Also, I have other authors that I have successfully published that are out there making great things happen with their work and reaching more people than they have reached in the times past. One of my great authors is Dr. Michelle Davis, the author of Seeing with the Eyes of the Spirit, whose book is available in Amazon, Barnes & Noble. As a matter of fact, to make this clear, any person who has ever published a book with me, their books are available worldwide. That's Amazon, that's Barnes & Noble. Anywhere a book can be sold, it's available. Another great author that I have is Dr. Latonya Altman from Connecticut. Great author. An Eagle Can Fly with a Broken Wing. This book is absolutely awesome, not because she published it with me. The author's material is absolutely awesome, raw and straight to the point. A great read. Another is one of my own, The Purpose-Driven Prayer Life, which is like one of the hottest prayer books out there. Not because I wrote it, but because I don't know what's possessing people to buy it so much. I've written this book over 10 years ago, and each and every month it is doubling in sales. Ebook sales, paperback sales. It is a good read. I recommend it. Another great author published with Maximize Publishing is Natalie Ford, Seasons of Singleness. For all of you out there that are worried about getting married, the process of getting married, not even being able to enjoy your moments of being single, this is a perfect book for you. It will minister to you. It will bring things into perspective for you. And it will help you heal from some issues. Natalie Ford, Seasons of Singleness. Another great book is Soul Cleanse, a book of poetry. Just to give you a little backdrop, poetry has been one of my cathartic works. As a child, I grew up writing poetry. It was the way I purged. It was the way I deal with stress. It was the way I deal or process depression. Whatever ill emotion that I was going through or experiencing, poetry was that outlet. And Soul Cleanse embodies so much of that work and so much of those experiences that I have had and where I needed to purge. I needed to get those emotions out, and what better way to do that in a creative, cathartic work of poetry. So check out Soul Cleanse. And last but not least, this is the #1 book that I recommend for any entrepreneur. Yes, I did write this one as well. This book has brought me through. This book encompasses most of my experience as an entrepreneur and some of the nuggets that you will need to know. Some of the things that you need to prepare yourself for if you are serious about starting a business or being anyone in business. This is the perfect book for you. It gives you the steps, the clues, the blueprint, everything that you would need to get started. The Newborn Entrepreneur. Now, with that being said, with all of that out the way, if you are an author that is ready to publish your book, be it poetry, fiction, religious studies, or motivational, or autobiography, if you guys have any type of books that you're ready to publish, Maximize is looking for you. Maximize is looking to publish new authors that have great messages, inspiring messages, and definitely you guys that are pastors, that are in leadership, you have a wide range of things that you can use. You have your life's testimony. You have your sermons that can be turned into books, if not chapters of a book, if they fall within a series of messages that all coincide with each other. You will find out that in 2 seconds, if you sat down and went through your book of notes, that you would find sermons that all link together, and that if you just took just a few moments each day to just write and work on them and transform your notes that you use for a sermon into a chapter of a book, you will be astonished at how many books that you can think you can write once you get that process in, and see how easy it is. And then 2, after you have taken the process of writing what your chapters will be, and I'm going to help you and make it real easy for you. Start out with no more than 10. If you can get your 10 chapters in there, and you have all of your nuggets and goodies and storylines and scriptures and things that you want to talk about, and you can be personal. Don't be scared or afraid to be personal. Throw in some of your experiences, people you've ministered to, some of the things that have happened in your own lives, and be real with people. Show the people that side of you. People just don't want to read a book with you preaching at them, but they would like to see real stories, realness from you. Be authentic in your approach to winning, witnessing, and ministering to souls, and it will be more effective. So those are just some quick tips that will get you started. Sit down, go through your notes, compare and compile everything together, write out the topics that strike you the strongest, and flow with those first. And when you review your work, you'll come back and see that there's so much more that you can do with what you have, and there's so many other works that you could possibly publish or do, but that is the starting point, is to sit down, configure your work, get everything together, and you'll see it starts to flow. Some of you guys are very creative. You got poetry, you have fictional stories that you can tell, you got your sermons that you can use, you have a message, you have an autobiography that you need to write, you have a story. Some of you have been in divorces, some of you have been in terrible marriages, some of you have good marriages, great marriages, some of you have been victims of various different types of abuse, sexual, mental, physical, and all of those are stories and messages that people need to hear and that people need to be ministered to with. So if that's you and you fit that category and you have a message and you have a work that you have in place, Maximize is looking for you to publish the next best ministering author. So if that's you, I need you to contact me with the information below in the description, and let's get your book out on the market. Thanks for watching.